welcome to Germany.
Thank you, sir.
It's great pleasure to have you here in this Tonstudio. In Germany we say not a recording studio, Tonstudio. So you have the chance to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. I'm Gannon from Universal Audio. Thank you for your welcome. I feel very happy to be here.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're from UAD.
Yes.
In Germany, UAD. Sorry, we have to explain it for our German community here.
Okay.
And you have some great stuff with you.
I do.
So for the Musikmesse 2015,
Yes.
tell us what's new.
Okay. Our big story and big news for Messe 2015 is the next generation Apollos. So these devices that are humming along right here are our three new Apollos. So we introduced Apollo in 2012, so here it is 2015, and we're already refreshing the platform. This is a big deal. We've looked across the platform and made numerous improvements, enhancements to a number of the systems. Probably the most important is we've improved the A to D and D to A specs. So now we offer the best in class A to D and D to A conversion, and this has been extensively tested, extensively measured, and we're cleaner and have lower THD plus noise than any interface, up to those that cost up to twice as much as these. So
all right.
What about the sample rates?
The sample rates, these are all 44.1 to 192.
On all channels?
On all channels, yeah.
Okay.
So starting with the A to D and D to A, the listening, what UA is all about, what Universal Audio has done is over the 50 years that we've been in business, we've really established a sound. And that's the most important piece for us, is does it have a great sound, does it have character? So, you know, we've got these great clean specs for the A to D and D to A, but we've really focused on how good does it sound, and through rigorous tests and listening tests, these have won hands down between not only our own competitors but our own interfaces. So we've improved on the original Apollos. We've done a number of things too. These are, we'll talk about the individual pieces, but crossing the whole line here, we've added high Z inputs that are Unison enabled. So Unison is a breakthrough technology that we introduced last year at NAMM, which is it's a microphone preamp modeling technology that lets us blend hardware modeling with software modeling to get really incredible models and emulations of Neve and API and UA tube-based and transformer-based mic preamps. Now we've added that same technology to the high Z inputs. So if you plug a guitar now into the high Z, you'll hear it switch, and then if you insert, say, a Unison stomp box like a Raw or Ibanez Tube Screamer or the Bermuda Triangle, we actually modify the impedance of the high Z input. So it loads your pickups differently, changes the frequency response of the high Z circuit, and
switchable or blendable?
It is automatic. So when we do the model, we actually measure what the input impedance of the model is, and say, oh, there's 1.6K. There it is. So
and you can't change it.
No, that's not a. It's not a usable, accessible parameter.
Okay.
It's part of the model.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you wouldn't. It's not available on the hardware. So we have this sort of philosophy of modeling that's warts and all. So you know, if there's artifacts, we model the artifacts. If there's limitations, we live with the limitations. So then we've added some other pieces here, like simple things like lit switches for the different parameters of the mic preamps. So as you switch these, you can see we have LEDs. I don't know if the lights can show that or not, but we do that. We also have meter switching.
Yes.
So previously on the Apollos we had only input metering. Now we have input and output metering. We have an dedicated alt monitor switch. So also with Console 2.0 that we introduced at NAMM, you have the ability to have up to 2 alt speaker sets that are trimmable and switchable. So we have front panel control over the alts. We also have a programmable function switch. That function switch can be assigned to dim or mono or the alt 2 speakers. So if you have 2 sets, you can switch there. So that's a programmable switch. We've also completely redesigned the headphone circuits. So these are now digitally controlled outputs, and so that gives us better performance, better spec on the headphone outputs as well.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Lastly, there's one more thing. Across the Apollo 8P and the 8, we've introduced a feature called line input gain. So if you select line input here, you can assign a control that allows you to bypass the line gain amplifier. So the benefit there is if you're using an external mic preamp, for example, and you don't want a variable gain module in, before your line amp, you can completely take it out of the circuit. It's relay bypassed, so it gives you a very clean input to the line. Yeah. Same thing on the monitor output. So we have a gain module on the monitor out, but if you were using a summing box, for example, you would want to bypass that, so you have 8 equal line outputs with no gain module on the output.
Okay.
So both the inputs and outputs have bypassable gain. And yeah, we're really excited about these. Of course, they're all connected via Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt lets us send PCIe audio data, mixer data, so we aggregate the mixer into one unified environment, and we send a distributed star clock, which is pretty revolutionary for connecting multiple interfaces without word clock from a central clock. We're able to send the same clock to each device. So if you measure the input at each box, it's not getting reclocked and looped to the next device. It's actually a distributed clock to each one.
Is it necessary that the Apollo is the master, or who's the master clock?
You have one monitor unit is your master unit. You could clock that externally, say if you wanted to use another external clock, and then that clock is regenerated, and that becomes the sort of the system master clock.
There are competitors who say, I must be the master.
Of course, that's fine. So you can do that. You take your master clock and then put that into the word clock input.
Okay.
Or if it's optical, you can come in optical as well. So that's very flexible.
Yeah, okay. And what's the difference between those three?
Okay, the one on the top here, this is Apollo 8P. The P stands for preamps. So there are 8 Unison-enabled preamps on this. So that's people have been requesting, I want more preamps in a single interface. So we have 8 preamps in here. And that's really the difference here. The Apollo 8 has the same complement as the original Apollo, so 4 Unison mic preamps, 8 line inputs. And then Apollo 16 is 16 analog inputs and outputs on D subs. So really for integrating with existing consoles or larger studio environments on a patch bay, for example, you would use that.
And how many can you get together?
You can mix and match up to 4 Apollos in a single system. So this is actually 4 Apollos. I have a twin, an 8P, Apollo 8, and a 16, all in the same system. When I go into the hardware, you can see that there's 4 units there. And then in a single system, you could also have up to 6 UAD2 devices. So other UAD2 devices are the Thunderbolt satellite or the PCIe cards, and then the expansion chassis, for example. So 4 Apollos of any type. These also mix and match with the silver-faced Apollos too. So any Thunderbolt equipped Apollo can be part of this system as well.